It's getting crazy at this point. It's evergreen when we start these shows like this. I mean, hat tip to the community last night. Some amazing performances that may even rival the infamous RT99 Adam Duvall slate. We had massive performances from the Wood, aka Flaccid Waffle, a first and a third in the main contest, and then a win. 13 lineups in the top 50? I mean, that's insane. Just insane stuff in the hoop streets. The community showing out as always, but it came at the expense of my man. Oh, that's the wrong one. My man, Nez.
Yeah, it did.
Who's in first place with 2 minutes left in the slate. My apologies, my friend.
I was in second. I was blocked out of first, but I had a Jeremy Grant swap that I thought was super sharp. I didn't think anybody was going to swap to Grant. A lot of Josh Hart swaps. So I thought I had the missing piece, man. Jeremy Grant puts up an absolutely insane night. His best fantasy night ever. And then Awen and Scott said, watch this. And dude, I said this to Nick. Duran looked like prime Dwight Howard last night. It was unbelievable. It was unbelievable last night. I mean, to get the OT to help put him over the edge, but just an insane night. Insane.
Who was playing the five? So I didn't watch any of the late night games last night. I was playing puck. But who was playing the five for the Blazers that he was doing work on? Because Ayton was out and Duop Reith was out, right?
I thought Ayton played a little bit. Am I tripping?
Okay, maybe I'm tripping. Because I thought they were both ruled out, but I don't actually know.
Well, Grant was doing a lot of five work.
Yeah, they were both
I know that.
Out. They were both ruled out. So it was Grant. It was Grant at the 5 and Jabari Walker at the 5, I guess.
Yeah. Jabari Walker did. Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah, I mean that would have been. He was definitely part of my player pool at the back end of draft boards. But had you definitively known Ayton and Duop were going to be out, that would have been smash spot to get to, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, I mean, Duran, I would love to know. You could check this. Using I think a Scott's extension, you might be, or no, maybe that just scrapes results, but you definitely could find a way to figure out how drafted Jalen Duran was.
Yeah.
I don't even have a good estimate for you, to be honest, of what that ended up turning out to be. You could probably like take a good stab at it. Let's see.
11% pre-swaps. And then he got swapped into heavy when D'Angelo Russell got ruled out, Booker got ruled out, and whatever in that late window of swaps. That's what I would guess.
Yeah, his ADP was 34.7. So, what's really interesting, and you would like this, you're really gonna like this. The winning lineup, if you include the swap, which you can, I mean you should, but the winning lineup had 3 pieces of 30 plus ADPs on it.
Fucking bless up. That warms my soul right there. That just gives me, you know what? I just forgot completely that I just played 65% Halliburton. I forgot completely for a minute there, Nez, and I came full circle to warm and fuzzy inside. That's incredible.
Jeremy Grant had a 35.9 ADP. He had Franz Wagner, who had a 32.8 ADP, and then Jalen Duran, who he took at the 4-5 turn because he had Luka 101. And he took and then he takes Jalen Duran a whole round ahead to double tap.
Lord. There we go, baby.
Yep.
Love it. That's
not
the
meta,
man.
Knock Scott here, but I mean, just a fantastic play, dude.
Yeah, it's the new meta, dude. I love it so much. That's so sharp on so many levels. And then finding a guy that has a ceiling that's also going low key undrafted like that. I love that shout so much.
Yeah. So really dope.
Great stuff. Oh, here we go. Ron Navy in here saying he took down the elbow jumper 2 last night. There we go. Community stays strong regardless of stake limit. Love to see it there. Champ's in the building here. Well, not actual champ, but big night player.
Those two combined, Scott and Awen, probably took, I would guess, over I would guess 30%, 25 to 30% of the total prize pool last. A1 didn't even ship, and he took 11K himself in the main.
That's incredible.
That is
That's great.
wild,
Well,
wild.
let's talk about the play. Let's talk about the play because I find it very interesting. You hinted on what Mr. Flaccid Waffle, aka the Wood, aka Scott, did with the Duran flipping of the board. Then you had the Franz Wagner one. The interesting thing with Franz for me was I think he accidentally became the default swap in the early window for people, and that kind of
if you didn't make adjustments.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying Scott didn't. Like that this has nothing to do with him. I just mean for the sake of his
that
owner.
wasn't a swap for him, yeah.
Yeah, the sake of his ownership in the contest, that really flipped the contest last night, in my opinion. Is you get like a 60 ball in the last round who was routinely going undrafted, who becomes the swap in because there were so many Q tags that became ineligible that we were swapping like 5 or 6 deep on the ADP list, and he happened to be one of them.
What you were seeing from manual swaps, people that actually were setting was like Josh Hart was like the chalk swap.
Okay. I didn't go that route. I went the McBride route.
That was fun.
Yeah, I mean,
didn't work the same, but yeah, it's still a fun way to play it.
Okay, I'm looking for 1 second here because I think it's a really fun conversation because Awin shared his exposures in the hoop thread, but everyone is so effing sick and talked for like 20 hours here of I can't even find Twitter? It on the scroll. Oh, it might have been on the Twitter. That's where I saw it. Sorry, this one just came to mind because I wanted to talk about the thought process associated with getting to like, I want to say it was 56%. Awin, correct me in the chat if I'm wrong as I'm looking for it here, because I'm really interested to know like the thought processing getting to so much of that grant. Was it swapped into?
That was swapped.
Was it? Okay. So the majority of the grant stuff was swapped off of like Booker stuff?
I think Dame.
Okay.
Book. It looks like Book. Yep. Yeah. He was like overwhelmingly in on Devin Booker, at least on the lineups that are like just below me.
Swap from Dame and Book.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Interesting. Yeah. Great swap. Great play. Very interesting. But that would have been so heavy over the field on Dame. That means he took Dame in the 5th round like 50% of the time. He did what I did with Howley, but he did it with Dame, anticipating Dame to be, I don't know, out, question mark. I'm just trying to like think through the game theory of it.
I mean, yeah, Dame was just projecting really well too. So it was like, when you have guys like that are like, if they're in, they project well. If they're out, where you're swapping them out is like, obviously like a very replaceable score. It's definitely, something that really sharp players are doing, specifically the ones that hang out in our Discord, is embracing that Q tag variance when you have somebody with a discount that has a ceiling that warrants a higher ADP, but the downside is you get a swap. Now, the risk of that is if you have a guy that's like late Q with illness, the illness tag turns out to be kind of real in recent memory. Guys playing through illnesses generally have, bump down performances. They're just not performing as well, which, makes sense. I'm a miserable prick whenever I'm sick. I don't want to do anything, so I can understand. I can fully resonate with that.
MJ flu game lives rent free in our heads, and we forget that there's only one MJ.
And he wasn't even sick.
Oh, come on, Nez. We don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
You really think a pizza boy sabotaged Michael Jordan's pizza? Are you serious? I know you're better.
I want to believe the greatest story of all time.
All right. I'll let you. You can uphold that image of MJ. It's fine.
Did I ever tell you that I was living like downtown adjacent to a bunch of my buddies that I play poker with during the COVID window there, and when there was no sports, there was nothing to do. There was like, no one to hang out with. All shit was closed kind of deal. that we would get together and watch old ESPN classics that we had never seen before and prop
awesome.
bet versus each other. And it was like honor system that nobody knew the outcome of the game, outcome of whatever. So like we were watching like these old MJ games, but we wouldn't watch like the classics. Like we wouldn't watch like, game 6 versus Utah, whatever.
Yeah.
We would watch like some random one we could find from like the middle of the season. It was grainy as shit on YouTube, 480p. We would put it up on the big screen, and it was fucking classic, dude.
That's hilarious. That'd be a lot of fun, actually.
It was so fun. It was so degen. Just get a 12 case, put it in the middle of the room, 4 of us sit around and sweat this game from like 1994 that none of us had ever seen before.
That's a great idea, actually.
We might have to just bring that one back. Yeah, GA man, I'm a gullible guy. I like to believe in believe in the esoteric, the greater than. Let's talk about. I want to ask you a question here. Because yesterday we came on the show, and I'm not gonna lie, Nez, we fucking nailed it. We nailed it with the injury stuff. We nailed it with the news. We nailed it with like the leverage plays and stuff. And then none of it panned out. Right? Right? No. Yeah.
I mean,
did we?
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Did we play well, or did we play? Because here, I'll share my exposures from last night. I only did 90 lineups, and I want your honest opinion here.
Okay.
Did I play well last night and yield poor results, or did I play poorly and deserved the results which were obtained? So I aped the Halley and was like, the minutes is a fugazi. He played 3/4 of full normal rotation and was on pace to play 29, 30, something like that. Was that enough to matter on this slate against that Warriors spot in the highest total game? Or was that, I jumped the shark? I don't know, ran to the podium too early on that one? What's the phrase?
I think the only reason I would say 50% Howley, in my opinion, is just too much is because like there was a strong range of outcomes that, he doesn't get 40. Which, part of A1's strain was, 2 30-point players. So, it still could have worked. But I think that 50% is just a little bit too big of a bet for Howley's range of outcomes where like the floor, the bottom could fall out on him. And it kind of did. Where, where he was running so pure with the assists and the dimes, and the game was just like so crazy, such a shootout. You were close, and it was, a fun way to, try to get over the field because nobody, you definitely had to have been the leader in Howley exposure last night. But I think just because of that might have been too strong. Okay. For the Halley play, in my opinion, but I admire the hell out of it because I mean, what do you win when you win with this shit? Well, you take down a crazy percentage of the prize pool.
Yeah, I'm just curious, like just in general here, like would I have been better off to do like the Lillard thing because like Lillard was projecting better. I thought Lillard was a worse play, but then there was probably more swap equity with Lillard because we kind of knew Halley was just gonna play. We talk about how the Pacers are so liberal with the cues. Like, was it a mistake to do the Halley stuff, or was it I don't know. Yeah, Maxwell saying the closing line value was good on the Cade stuff. Yeah, I don't know. And then like Hartenstein gets injured, you can't really do anything there.
Hartenstein probably would have crushed. That was disappointing, dude. He had like 20 at half or something. 41% Hartenstein for me. So that definitely that definitely bit. That wasn't fun. The Jaren Jackson one, I don't have a problem with. He was a smash by all accounts in drafts. So unless that was like really, really chased, which I mean, I can't even fault you for vaulting like most of the 20s for JJJ because no one in that range, unless you like put Josh Hart there, like no one in that range specifically that we like weren't worried about, like actually killed you, if I'm not mistaken. Most of the killers came from like picks 30 and onward. That's why you see these 30 balls in A-Wen's train in the 20s because in that range, like there were no right answers and it felt like there were no right answers, but like,
we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah. But who has the nuts to, thrust up these guys in the 30s. Well, Scott does, and Scott wins. So, I love the Cade call, man. I was all over Cade as well. It just wasn't his night, but that was a great spot. Goes into OT, so you can't really be too mad about this. But I will say, I mean, and not to like dox what your play style from Slate's past, but this is way more concentrated than you typically have been in hoops. And I think this is like, especially with 90 teams, it's kind of the move.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just kind of experimenting with like lots of different stuff right now in the hoop streets because it hasn't been as good as last year. And that might be, we talked about it yesterday from the game theory standpoint, like might be because of bigger contests, because the payout structures have changed, because there's so many more side contests, all this sort of thing. Like there's a lot of moving parts to this, and the community overall just like getting sharper and whatever. Like I shared something with you yesterday that I was like in the midst of writing about like how process has changed for like, a year ago to now, and like what what you and Pete like to call table stakes, like what the entry level to even be competitive in this environment. And it's like, man, if you're not consuming, our show, you're not consuming the ranks from a couple other sites, if you're not consuming like this stuff, like that's just like the bare minimum to compete. Then there's like this next level of like, what are guys doing with Saber Sims, with other sim models? Like what could you do by porting, our scoring into those systems and messing around? And then you layer on, like Scott wins last night, you layer on all the tools in which he's providing for free to people. Like if you're not using those, like, hey, there's case study 101. He takes first and third last night utilizing his own tools, which he's giving to you, like you being the collective everybody. Yeah, very interesting. Let's talk about tonight. Let's talk about we got a fun 6-gamer tonight. We got a lot of rosters that are shorthanded because of a couple injuries, couple back-to-back scenarios, front end back-to-back and back end back-to-back. And then we got some shorthanded rosters because of the trade deadline. So a lot of newly acquired pieces will not be there for rotations. And then the big looming Q tags at the front of the draft board in Tatum and Maxey. So that's kind of the state of the slate right now, Nez. Yeah. I'll bring up rosters and the Roto Grinder stuff here to start.
Yeah, this is interesting because we have 2 games with like gigantic spreads. One being Celtics Wiz and the other being Bucks Hornets, which like I don't know. I mean, I get that the Hornets are trash, but hey man, I don't know that the Bucks are 14.5 points better than the Hornets right now, but regardless.
Well, to that point, Underdog NBA, I'm sure most of the sickos here tweeted something earlier that the Bucks with Doc Rivers as head coach are 1-5 with an offensive rating that's 24th in the league and defensive rating that's 21st in the league. They were net top 10 rating and offensive rating with the previous coach. So just playing to your point that, hey, yeah, it's the Hornets that are shorthanded, but do they warrant 14.5?
I don't know, man. That just seems big. Now, the real question mark is this Tatum Q tag with this gigantic spread, and Tatum was at shoot around. And if you read the tea leaves, if you're going to try to do injury prediction, like for me, that's a big predictor. And if someone's at shoot around, I'm gonna venture that they're gonna play. So I mean, you used to be able to get Tatum at like the 2-3 turn with your first overall pick. Now that he's at shoot around, I mean, when I say used to, that was like very early morning drafts, which I don't even grind early morning like that, but I was doing that and I was getting some Tatum, and you can't really do that now that he's been at shoot around. So it's interesting. It's definitely interesting. Yeah. I think he plays. The Celtics are just on another planet right now, and I think it's something that he's going to try to play as much as he can. Is my thought process.
Any fear to like what you alluded to at the front end of the show here is like the illness tag, playing through illness, even if he plays in a large spread game, even if he's active. Does he A, play well, or B, play enough minutes to warrant the price tag?
Yeah, that's a really good point. At this point, ahead of him, like you're taking. I mean, behind him is Maxey with the Q tag, with a late Q tag of illness again, which he just played through this illness. So, maybe you can look at that in two ways, like, oh, okay, he just played sick and it didn't go well, so maybe he doesn't play. Or you can look at the roster that we're looking at right now, and it looks like a middle school team that has like 20 kids in the class, because they don't even have a full bench to put in like a new fresh five. So I don't really have a lean on if Maxey plays, but all that to say, behind Tatum is like Scotty Barnes against the Rockets, and Barnes has just been so hit or miss, and the Rockets are not a fantastic matchup. And then Kristaps behind him in that same game environment, but he's not sick. So there is that. The options behind Tatum are just not that great.
Yeah, that's fair. I put Kristaps on the cover because I was looking at the Washington side, and we've been like attack Washington at the center position because Gafford was so bad. Well, now all of a sudden we have a situation where Gafford's gone and Bagley's out, and they basically don't have a sized up five that can play with Kristaps. Like they got Eugene. I can't even remember. Let me go back here. Where was it?
I won't know this dude's name anyways, but
Omorui. Eugene Omorui, who's been on 4 different NBA teams in his first 4 years in the league. He is going to be starting at the 5, and they don't really have, that much size that they can play there as well. So I was like, this is a Zinger cooks, and Zinger gets out to these hot starts primarily in the first quarter. Like he's a really good first quarter scorer, and for whatever reason, they just like go his way early kind of thing. I could see him getting out there early and often and dominating, especially if Tatum isn't there from a usage standpoint. So that was like my Galbrain matchups thing that led him to the cover. Any merit in what I'm saying?
I mean, are you going to trust a guy named Eugene to guard Kristaps? Eugene?
It's a city.
Serious?
It's a city in Oregon. It's that's where the Ducks play. Yo, double spin zone narrative.
Oh boy.
Ducks suck. Huskies always beat the Ducks. Huskies. Kristaps beating Eugene.
You lost me. I think it would be different, in my opinion, if like Kristaps was more of a traditional 5. Like he's not like posting up or anything really, right? Like I still think that they're going to score at will, and this is just a bit of a joke right now. I mean, blowouts happen because good players fill it up. So like, yeah, like the blowout risk sucks, but like one of these guys could just absolutely get there in the process of the blowout taking place. Oh, Josh in the chat saying Eugene went to Eugene.
He went to Oregon.
He went to Oregon in college.
No fucking chance.
And he's got the Nova Abbey, so the dude clearly knows his college. He knows.
Yeah, he's dialed.
That's fucking awesome.
Oh my goodness, that is crazy. Wow. Hey, we got the last night's champ in the building. Scott's here. Big shouts there. Yeah, calling us the goats. You're the goats, buddy, for last night. That was an absolute performance. All right. Yeah. That was kind of all I had to say Celtics wise there.
I don't have any answers. Take your pick.
I think Hawks are obviously in a good spot. Sadiq Bey's been playing really well without Hunter. Actually, even when Hunter came back last game, still without Capella tonight. DeJounte Murray still has the Q tag, but I think we're kind of all in agreement that it was a fake Q with the looming trade, blah, blah, blah. Or do you think there's any merit to it?
No, I think it's mostly fake, but it's weird that why is he still in the injury report?
Yeah, it is interesting because it's also a new designation. He had, I want to say it was a knee. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me on that. But I want to say he had a knee, and it was like kind of like a recurring thing that kept popping up. And then all of a sudden tonight and last night, it was last night, is the back. So lower back tightness. So the fact that it's a new designation, I don't know if they were just covering their own asses
Right.
or and then they carry him over on the injury report tonight to be like, look, see, it's real. It was real. That sort of deal. But yeah, I don't know. The fact that it's like a new designation, I agree with you. It gives me a little bit of pause, but I'm still treating it as if he's in tonight.
I think that's definitely the way to play it because,
Yeah.
like mentioned off top, we have swaps. So
Mhm.
this is one of the first games tonight, so you'll have a fresh slate of options to choose from on who you want to swap to if he doesn't play. So that gives him extra appeal, especially against this you see the total here. This current Sixers team is just not, they've never been a super defensive, defensively stout team, but should
Mhm.
be a lot of points scored in this game. So yeah, if Murray plays, I mean that ADP is looking ripe, and is Jalen Johnson going to do it again?
Yeah, I mean, he's priced up like he's going to. I mean, the guy's been on fire and playing major midget minutes in recent memory here, but I think I might take the discount in DeJounte right now, even though I put Jalen on the cover because I like the spot better for Jalen. But yeah.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson killed me last slate. So I got I'm a little gun shy, but that 15-8, not even just even just in a vacuum, right? Like regardless of whether DeJounte plays or not, they're just picks around Jalen that I'm
Prefer.
gravitating to more right now.
Yeah.
God, it scares the shit out of me because like I mentioned, like this game has the high total. Sixers aren't anything special, and Jalen just did it.
Yeah, today's cover boys a little more less endorsey and little more like good conversations we wanted to have,
Right.
guys.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, no, fully in lockstep with you there, Nez, where it's like I see the ceiling, but if you give me, Hunter back in, DeJounte back in, and they blow the doors off a depleted Sixers team without Maxi, I mean, it's pretty hard for him to pay off that price tag with only like 32 minutes, 34 minutes in a blowout.
Yeah, that's a good point too.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the Sixers on the other side. Maxi with the downgrade in quotations, midday illness queue. He had the illness queue for the Warriors game, then ended up playing through it and played very poorly. I don't think he had a bucket in the first quarter, something like that. Eerily reminiscent of Hallie. Hallie paying touching tribute to Maxi from the other day last night with his performance yesterday. But this is going to open up a lot of stuff because as you can see here, man, they are just so short bodies after shipping out Springer and House and Pat Bev and all this sort of stuff. I mean, you could see yourself to 40 minutes from Kelly Oubre. They're going to need Point Tobias to be like being like primary dominant ball handler because they are big, heavy, and they do not have much ball handling on this roster today. So, what are your initial thoughts here?
God, it's bleak. It's bleak. I mean, KJ Martin played 28 minutes for them last game against the Warriors, and
Yep.
I mean, it's not hard to imagine him getting 20. I'm not drafting KJ Martin, but like they're just, it's so bleak. Terquavian Smith, is probably going to get run. You would think that Kelly Oubre is like in line to have a great night, but just hasn't shown anything lately. Maybe a
Mm-hmm.
bounce back spot for him. I mean, he's free in drafts. I mean, it doesn't really get much more wide open for Kelly Oubre than this, especially if Maxi doesn't play. But I think even with Maxi out, Oubre still won't get a lot of steam. People are just over him. But
Mm-hmm.
could be a good night for Kelly Oubre, just like looking at the facts and not the game logs.
Yeah, I don't know. It's I agree with you there that like in making your decisions tonight, do not look at Paul Reed's game log, do not look at Kelly Oubre's game log. Do not do that. Just ape into the fact that Atlanta has been a sieve for points and pace, and they've been low key, as the ETR guys like to say, the Coors Field of basketball this year, aka Ford Field as well.
There we go.
Yeah, has been basically the Hawks, right? So I will be clicking Paul Reed. I will be clicking Kelly Oubre. I will be clicking Mo Bamba. We're hearing some Turk Smith love in the chat here over and over again. I see you. I see you. I haven't gone that far yet. It does sound like a fake name though. That like Keelan Field. That's so true.
It's a lot.
It does sound like it.
It's a lot. Q-Bird, I think. I don't know, Q-Bird. All day. Turk Smith all day. Really? Really?
It kind of feels like the McBride play from last night, no?
How did that work out?
I mean, it could have worked out better. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we can go that deep here, but yeah, I don't know. I like the shout. I will say that they have more bigs to take over bigs minutes. So Paul Reed feels less safe than Kelly Oubre. I would be taking Kelly Oubre over Paul Reed. Right now, Paul Reed has played bad, like just straight up has played bad since the illness. But I can see merit to. I will have a lot of Sixers exposure, especially if Maxey doesn't go.
It's going to be hard to get away from them. I mean, dude, it just doesn't get much better than this, right? I mean, these guys are not expensive at all. I mean, other than Tobias Harris, and they're playing the Hawks. I mean, this is crazy. I can't remember the last time like a slate set itself up for a team to be like such an obvious like target in the late rounds like this. I'm not saying that it's guaranteed to smash. I mean, you got a lot of Sixers fans in the chat saying that Sixers are going to lose by 20. You know, sometimes home fans know what's up, but I mean, dude, me personally, I'm going to play it as though it's competitive because spread's tight, and Maxey out does not make the spread double digits just because Tyrese Maxey's out, in my opinion.
Yeah. Maybe it makes it 7? What's Maxey worth in this game? 4 points?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think like 9.5 at the absolute most if Maxey's out.
Yeah.
And that's just because of like compounding factors, not because of like him in isolation, you know?
Right. Yeah. It has so much to do with the minutes distribution of like where that goes opposed to Maxey being on the floor.
Exactly.
All right. I was just looking up. Yeah, I don't know. I was thinking about another spot that was like really good like this in recent memory where we got priced down pieces. I mean, Knicks felt kind of good yesterday because you knew everyone was going to play 40.
That, yeah. Like Josh, and,
Knicks felt kind of like that. I'm not going to lie, Detroit felt kind of like that last night too because I thought they were going to run like a 9-man, 8-man rotation against the Blazers, and it felt like it'd be really back and forth. That's why I aped Cade. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's an interesting little shout there. Rockets still without Fred VanVleet. Anything you want to say here? It's this game feels slower than the total is implying, in my opinion. It feels like a bad matchup for some of the Raptors guys. You know, Dylan Brooks can defend. I don't know which assignment he gets. Maybe Scotty Barnes. Maybe he's probably undersized to play Scotty. He'd probably play more of the IQ role. But yeah, this game, I'm not a big fan right now, Nez. I think I'll be underweight the ADP of the majority of pieces in this game. Obviously, I'll have some Sengun. Like, you know, you got to like that spot. Raptors have been bad on the glass without Pirtle, but their splits are drastically different when Pirtle's in there. But he could cook first backup 5 minutes because they have no Thad Young anymore as well. So what are you seeing here?
I think what I'm like trying to wrap my head around is the Rockets without.
I just realized I was sharing the wrong thing. Sorry.
The Rockets without Fred VanVleet.
Mm-hmm.
To me, like they seem like a different team defensively. The totals have kind of bared this out where you know, and I don't even have an opinion on whether or not Fred VanVleet is like a really, really good defender or not. But without Fred VanVleet, man, these Rockets totals have been much higher than I would have normally expected them to be. So
Okay.
what really scares me is like on the I'm not saying that anymore because I said it every single show. I can't say that anymore.
Well,
Scotty
I look
Barnes,
calm and ready. Do I not?
you do. You are very calm and ready for this. Scotty, I'm really worried that Scotty Barnes is going to like have a night and I'm not going to be there. And I'm typically always there for Scotty Barnes nights. I'm always there no matter what. This could be a big Scotty Barnes night because I like this game. I like this game a lot. I really like RJ Barrett mostly because like he's not costing you a 2-3 turn pick like Scotty Barnes is. I think Pirtle is pretty fun in this matchup as well. Quickly, you know, I'm taking a lot of quickly. So the Raptors are fun in this because those are really like, you know, the most fantasy relevant players there for us, and they are playing a shit ton of minutes, those four. And then on the Rockets side, love me some Şengün tonight, man. Şengün tonight is very, very exciting. I just like targeting the Raptors or team, you know, Raptors games, the Raptors themselves, mostly teams against them. Amin Thompson, he's not like super expensive, but not cheap, but great spot. Jalen Green as well seems like a really fun play for me tonight too.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, like it's a tough game to get away from in general, but you seem to be way more bullish on it than I. I was just kind of like Şengün or bust. I mean, man, when's the last time Scotty did anything like slate relevant? I'm just looking back at like the box scores here for like Scotty, and it's just like so mid since like the point Scotty era. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
you
here,
really.
versus Memphis, they lose. They lose 108-100, and he goes 22-8-6. Like, is that ceiling Scotty now? He scored
That
30.
the last time they played the Rockets, they lost by 29. Looking at that game where
he
there's
scored 28 that night.
28, 31, 6, 30. So that's like a low 40s. Like, what's it going to take for Scotty to break 50 in the fantasy point department? And does he have a better chance? Oh, hello. We have some Sixers available to play, not for us.
Okay.
But Buddy Hield and Campaign are going to make their debuts today.
Wow. Okay. Interesting. So that's going to shake up the rotation a little bit, just in general, making, you know, there's your ball handling. I mean, that makes me a little more bearish on Maxey, like just in general. And then that makes me a little more bearish on like the Kelly Oubre stuff. Tobias should still go, you know, in that 12 to 15 range. But okay, how about Scotty versus Tobias straight up tonight? Maxey sits, Hield and Campaign are in. Who do you like more?
Tobias Harris.
Yeah, I kind of feel similarly.
Like,
I don't know.
In your mind's eye, picture a 50 ball from Tobias and then picture a 50 ball from Scott. You can't picture a 50 ball from Tobias Harris? I'm not talking like real life points here. I'm talking fantasy. Okay. You can't picture that? Tobias Harris fills it up.
It'll be all those like shitty long rebounds off Trey missed threes that like bounce out to like the edge of the key, and Tobias, just number 12, just does this like this. You know, he does like that little stomp and slap. Yeah. That's what he's doing with those boards. He's bringing those boards down.
I mean, if he gets like 32, like 9 and 6, maybe throw a stock in there. Like, my point being is like in my mind's eye, I can picture Tobias Harris outscoring against the Hawks, no Maxey. I could picture him outscoring Scotty Barnes like very easily, then vice versa.
Yep, I fully agree with you there. Just a reminder to everyone. Oh, they're not even in the player pool, so you can't even click them. But it's like an evergreen reminder that, you know, guys get hung up on it every time. You know, we always go back to the Christian McCaffrey trade of last year, where everyone thought they were the smartest person in the room, still drafting Christian McCaffrey in the 6th round. And it's like any day of trades or anything like that, when they're not in the player pool, they're not playable on the site. So I think people did it with Terry Rozier this year as well. So just evergreen reminder. But today. I don't think
Also
you could
read the
even flip them.
pop-ups. Like they tell you that their mark is
Mhm.
out and they can't be swapped. Like
Mhm.
just understand that. They're doing you a favor.
I needed an attitude. I didn't know my attitude was negative today, basketballs.
I
I
didn't
did
know
not
either.
know. Yeah.
Maybe
I
he's
just see
behind. I don't know.
I see a bunch of plays I don't like. That's not my attitude. That's just like guys I don't like. Oh man. All right, 3 more games on the slate here. Nez, don't necessarily have to go game by game, but it's kind of fun.
This size
Hornets
you
are
can.
gonna be yeah, Hornets gonna be missing a bunch of bodies. They are basically only have Nick Richards as like their I mean, that's not entirely true. But like I could see Nick Richards playing like 28 minutes if they have to play up sideways and being out there for garbage time. And he's not getting drafted nearly as much as Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges are, who routinely go in the second round there or thereabouts. Anyone else from the Hornets that you're getting to today?
God, man. Like, why is Cody Martin like a good play?
I'm a little scared.
Of course I'm
I
scared.
know his box score looked nice last game, but he is low key nursing an injury where they want to keep his minutes down. He's
Okay.
probable. He's probable on the injury report. It says right knee contusion. I think he'd be a Q tag today, like legitimately, if they had like bodies to go around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do not. So he's going to play. I just think he's not going to be what you saw last game. He's going to be a more subdued version of that in like the low 20s minutes range.
That's probably fair. To me, like Nick Richards is one to get into foul trouble quite a bit. It seems like, or at least in recent memory, I can just see Giannis like taking it to the hole, like drive, like possession after possession, getting Richards in foul trouble, and then what do they do? Then who do you put? Like is
Yeah.
JT Thor?
Yeah, or Nathan Mensah. Like I think they go to Mensah before they go to Thor, but that's just me kind of having watched a little bit of Rockets.
Okay.
Or sorry, Hornets.
Yeah, you're sick for that. I've seen people take Jokic over Giannis, and I can't necessarily fault them for that. This game is going to be more competitive. We'll get to it obviously in a minute, but I'm taking Giannis like every time. Just the context of the team like on this major skid right now. They need to win, obviously. Yeah. Lillard's still questionable, but no Middleton. This just has Giannis written all over it. 52.5 PRA projection for Giannis here. But on the Hornets side, though, sorry, go ahead.
No, it just feels I'm in lockstep with you there. It just feels like this game's way more important as a get right spot than a rest spot when it traditionally would have been a rest spot for them, right? You go 1-5 in your first 6 under Doc, and it's just like, okay, we get a depleted Hornets team. Like we have to beat the shit out of them and remind everyone, even though it's a back-to-back. And then the fact that we didn't get a Q tag for the first injury report for the Bucks, and we got the probable tag, which in some respects is the same thing traditionally from the Bucks. But I'm in lockstep with you there.
Right, and then the good plays for the Hornets, obviously, Brandon Miller and Miles Bridges are really good plays today. Brandon Miller, I think, is fairly priced. He's got he's projected at like 25, just raw points. Like raw real points. So he projects really well. Very very interesting spot for Bridges and Brandon Miller, and I'm getting to both.
I like it. Bridges with a career high last time out, 45. He's had back-to-back 40 games, like just incredible. And then it was interesting, like the difference between the two games where he went with like no boards, and then he gets the auxiliary stats to go alongside it and becomes a 64 and the second round guy that you need 2 slates ago. Like kind of wild. Are we flow charting them versus Milwaukee?
Yeah, I think you can flow chart everybody. It doesn't even have to be guards. It's just like anybody against Milwaukee. I'll say this. I'll go out on a limb. Here's a hot take. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if the Bucks cover this spread. I would be shocked, genuinely.
Ooh, interesting. Okay,
Dude,
14 and a
they're
half.
bad. They're bad.
Yeah, they are bad. They're bad.
I mean, they're
Yeah.
good, but they're bad. Like, like,
Right.
sure, the record's fine, but like, they're not winning the East. They're not even going to the Eastern Conference Finals.
I mean, that's bold. That's bold. It's a little early, but I like it. I like your stance. I mean, the Celtics are just so far and away the best team, but I need a little pulse check, a little hand on the court here. What are we doing with Dame tonight? Do you think there's any chance he plays basketball? Do you have any idea what's going on with Dame?
I don't have any idea, but I am drafting him.
Okay, where are you taking him?
Sometimes I'm getting crazy, dude. I'm getting crazy. Oh. Sorry, I don't mean to like be so off the rails, but sometimes I will take Giannis and Dame. How crazy is that? I know you would like it. I'm preaching to the choir here. You're king flip the board, but I'm doing that sometimes. I don't think anybody is going out of their way to take Dame. Yeah, the swaps aren't fantastic if he doesn't play, but you still get a swap. And if he does play, I feel like that's going to be some super, super combinatorial leverage off the 101, which is something I think about almost every slate is what I'm doing when I get the 101. And like, why would you take picks like 11 and 12, ADP 11 and 12 with your 101 over and over and over when that's what everybody else is doing? Like, why would you? Like you're just 3v3ing, No, thanks.
It's very sharp, very sharp. And that, I mean, you want to see the case study for it? Look what Scott did last night.
Yeah.
Like, he takes Jalen Duren in the 5th round, and that's the difference maker because nobody else has Duren plus Franz plus
Grant.
Luka. Yeah.
And
Grant on the swap. Yeah, like nobody else has
super sharp.
Yeah, love it. Love it. These old principles warming my heart coming back around here. Okay, next game, probably going to be like the game of the night in terms of like the one I actually want to like sit down and watch. I'm not sure if that is true for fantasy sake. You got the two big men who just routinely put up triple doubles going against one another tonight in Sabonis and Joker. I don't know. What do you think? Just
this game should be fun, man. Kings getting favored, I think, just because they're at home, which is like,
kind of surprising.
Yeah, I think it's surprising, like that they essentially think that these teams are equals,
right?
Which I guess kind of makes sense. They do seem like to have similar principles. This should be a really fun game, man. So like I said, can't really fault. Like I am going Giannis 101, but I can't fault people for wanting to go Jokic 101 in a game that is so obviously should be much more competitive. But like I said, I do think that the Hornets will keep it close. But Murray and Jokic seem like really great picks in this game. And then I guess if you want to just like talk about the Nuggets, but I mean, dude, this game I agree with you. This game looks awesome.
Yeah, Nuggets still haven't submitted an injury report yet. Actually, I haven't looked back at the 12:30 my time, aka what is that? 3:30 Eastern time. Let me see here just to confirm. Nuggets submitted. Okay, so we still have the Q tag on KCP. KCP sat out last night, and we got a probable tag on both Jamal and Michael Porter Jr. and DeAndre Jordan for what it's worth. So, yeah, they're just kind of.
I did forget that the Nuggets played a back-to-back last night, or they did play the Lakers. Obviously.
Jamal played so effing well because he had the full ball handling role to himself, both in the with the first unit, and then they do that where they stagger their minutes, where he runs with the second unit, and then he runs with Richie Jackson out there as well. And then they kind of he plays a little more off ball when Reggie Jackson's out there. But anyways, he played so effing well last night.
Yeah, he was ice cold in a good way.
Yeah.
So I guess, if you're worried about that shoulder, it is a little sketchy. On the flip side, man, I tell you what, are you ready to draft De'Aaron Fox? Because I am not, and I will not.
Yeah, I just don't know what to do with him. I got over the field on him 2 days ago because I thought it was a good way to flip the second round, and then he just killed me. But yeah, I don't know what's up with him, man. Everybody, it's weird. When we talk about fantasy circles and like actual basketball circles, there's so many like differentiating opinions because people think he should have been like an all-star and stuff. And like he was an all-star snub and whatever. And I was like, dude, he's not even playing well. And he wasn't even shooting well. And like they were distributing their offense through like Kevin Huerter and Harrison Barnes. And that because they were so disappointed in him and Monk for a stretch. Like I don't know. I see differently than what other people. I just see a guy who's like he doesn't have the yips necessarily, but like he's so passive right now compared to like what we saw in the postseason last year. What we saw in the postseason last year was like him and Sabonis, 2-man high screen and roll game, and they just cooked at times, right? Like to the point in which like the Warriors had to put Looney out there over and over again to have some size at the rim.
Right.
Because they were just so effortlessly getting to the rim together. I don't see that at all this year. He settles so much, man. He settles so much. So I don't know. I'm a long-winded way of saying, yes, I agree with you that I just like, I can't keep lighting money on fire with him at ADP, especially when this doesn't look like a great spot.
The only thing that stinks is like I think the market has like appropriately adjusted.
Right.
Maybe. Like I think I'm taking Dame. I mean, I know I am taking Dame over him tonight, but that's a 6-pick difference. Okay. Have you looked at the projections for Fox on the pick'em side? And if so, what would be your projection for his PRA tonight, De'Aaron Fox?
Okay. I'll give you 2 answers.
Okay.
I think let me just confirm his ADP hasn't moved much. Okay, so he's still at 13. I think his PRA for where he's currently going should be 35.5. I think in actuality on on the pick'em entry side, it's 32.5.
Yeah, it's 32 flat.
Yeah.
It was at 31.5. And everybody likes hires, so it's up to 32. But
yeah, because that checks out to me. But like the draft capital. Okay, so let's juxtapose him to Scotty Barnes. What's Scotty Barnes' PRA right now?
Only 33.5.
What's Kristaps?
Nothing, because they're waiting on Tatum. But to my point, let me just pat myself on the back. Dame Lillard, go. PRA. Obviously, it's high.
38.5.
39.5.
Wow.
And that's a 6-pick difference.
Yeah. Okay. Do they have a Tobias one up yet, or are they waiting on the Maxey?
I don't think so.
Because I think the Tobias one will be higher than. I think the Tobias one will be higher than both Fox and Scotty Barnes.
It'll be like 40.5, I bet.
Ooh, that's spice. Give me a little 2.5x on that.
No way,
give me
buddy.
A little spicy mark, baby.
Not on the Nez platform.
Oh shoot. All right, we classic. Just John and Nez talking ball, and like it's already like an hour, and we haven't drafted anything, and we haven't even looked at ADP. We're like bouncing back and forth.
This is the homework.
This is the homework. Yeah. Do we like Malik Monk tonight? Do we like Keegan Murray's matchup or anything like that? Any guys you're getting to there? We've seen Monk get like the uptick, recent memory, and they've kind of gone back to like the 2 guard thing. Instead of what we had been seeing.
Yeah, I'm gonna give you my Sacramento Kings homer take.
Okay.
Because I've been listening to their announcers where they think Keegan Murray has diminished results because he has tough defensive assignments. Well, he's not guarding the best offensive player on the court tonight. So, I mean, yeah, he's going to have a tough assignment because they are good. The Nuggets are. But it's going to free him up. He's going to be able to have a little bit more freedom. And we've got Fox kind of in this major slump right now.
Okay.
I like Keegan Murray in the 6th. I could talk myself into that. And if he's not getting drafted, and I don't think he is, then I set myself up for some decent Keegan Murray swaps.
I like it. Okay. I mean, we know he can fill it up when he gets hot. We know he has a ceiling because we've seen lately. Yeah, it has been bad lately, but we know he has a ceiling when he gets going. I will say if he draws the Aaron Gordon assignment, that's probably not great, but there is some thesis in the back of my mind here that you could put Aaron Gordon on Sabonis and you could save Joker a little bit on the defensive end. I don't think they're going to, but I think it's viable. Um,
Definitely.
yeah, I don't know.
It
Yeah.
definitely it's definitely
Anyways,
viable.
that I'm just trying to think like who Keegan would draw. I mean, if he draws Michael Porter Jr., like he could cook.
Yeah.
I
Off
don't
ball,
know.
like he doesn't even need to dribble more than like twice a possession and he can cook.
Exactly,
Because
right?
Porter
He
is just
just
like lost on defense. He
camp
doesn't.
out in the corner, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that game's gonna be like the one that I want to watch tonight,
Same.
just in general. Okay, Pels Lakers. D'Angelo Russell, super weird situation last night where he had like some procedure and then they gave him like the active and yes, he's gonna play and this sort of thing. And then all of a sudden he's like not on the injury report and then he's a late rule out and then the fake Q tags of LeBron and AD play. Back to back here for them. Any chance either LeBron or AD rest?
Definite risk, right? I mean, it's kind of hard to say that there isn't risk coming off a back to back, and these guys, always being questionable. But I'm drafting as though they all play,
Uh-huh.
and just being at home, I think, really helps with this. But the Pelicans are still favored, which is like kind of wild.
Yeah.
So, Russell, I'm drafting Russell because he's in the sixth, then he has the Q tag, so you do get the swap if he doesn't play. And if he does play, I feel like he's a really nice play in the sixth.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
for the
for sure.
Lakers.
Yeah, 6 gamer. Yeah. On a 6 gamer, especially like Max Christie most likely gonna miss. Like he actually got hurt last night. I was reading. I did not see it, so I don't have a hand on the court take there. But yeah, I like your shout of the Russell pick and then swap off if need be. I don't have a lean on it. I mean, it's a really weird situation based on what happened last night. Kind of interesting that like Lakers obviously haven't submitted yet still, and normally we get the Q tags on the site and we don't today, for instance. It's just kind of a different drafting landscape than we've been accustomed to because normally Underdog just preemptively places the Q tags on them immediately after a back to back,
Right.
regardless of the injury report, and they didn't today. So I just found that interesting for whatever it's worth. I'm not
Yeah.
sure that it matters.
Yeah, I mean, not predicting anything, but you could get the report and it could just be an immediate out,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We'll have to wait and
interesting.
see.
Very interesting there. Injury report on the other side from the Pels. I suppose I could go back here. We got Zion still with the Q tag. Zion has had this foot contusion Q tag, and he missed one back to back with that designation in recent memory. Outside of that, Valanciunas actually got hurt last game, and
Yeah.
Larry Nance started the second half for
Yep.
him. So might be a little something there. And then I think I was listening to Justin Fab said something earlier about how they've been staggering the Q tags of Herb Jones and Zion. And this is a front end back to back for the Pels.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh.
And they didn't travel. They were in LA, then they took a night off, then now they're in LA, and then they play the Blazers tomorrow night. So could be something funky with Zion sitting one of the two.
He's gonna
Or
play against the Lakers.
you would think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Especially
I
if
like him in this matchup.
Yeah, especially if there's no Joval, right? Because you get a little
Yeah.
bit more with that board ceiling stuff. Though he has been doing some more ball handling recently, for what it's worth. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah. Anyone from the game that you like a lot? Are you trying to get overweight anyone here?
I always like the BI in LA narrative. He lights up the Clippers. He didn't light up the Clippers last game, but
No.
I think Yeah, so BI just seems a tinge too expensive for me, but I do take him.
Okay.
And I like Zion over McCollum. Really like Zion tonight. I don't know if the slate is thin enough to like want to do Herb Jones, and Trey Murphy just could not miss the last game either from 3.
The
I
Pels, baby. You
I
tell
love
me.
I fucking love the Pelicans, dude. They're so close. God, they're so close.
They are close.
I'll probably just I'll probably just like make Zion like the play tonight.
Okay.
And if he doesn't play, then I'll swap to Herb Jones. I
right.
will. I swear to God.
I like it. Why not? All right, let's rip one here and see what happens. This is my first draft of the day, which is extremely abnormal for me given the time and the fact that we're running a show. Normally I got 50 under my belt by the time we run a show.
You were a little banged up.
I played some late night puck last night. Bodies in shambles. Went to the gym to stretch it out this morning a little bit. Normally I get a couple drafts in, and I shut my brain off, turned my phone off, and
I haven't been drafting as much in the morning lately as I was like early in the season, where I was like just jamming them in, just like getting as many drafts in as I could. I'm kind of enjoying the extra information that I'm getting by waiting a tad.
We talk about it so much through the BBM draft window. We talk about it through the weekly lens of drafting BR and stuff like that. I mean, it's the exact same thing with hoops, but it's in a 24-hour span, right? Because there's bull case, bear case on each, and no slate's the same on each given night, that sometimes you want to ape early and get crazy closing line value, like what I thought I did last night on Cade, but it doesn't pan out, and then it doesn't look great. So then other times you want to wait for a full news drop and then get above the weight on, Jalen Brunson yesterday, for instance, had he played, right? So it's all leveraging certain spots on certain nights. And it's why these slates are never the same and always fun to talk through, because there's so many intricate moving pieces, even outside of projection and ADP, right?
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's what's so fun is there's evergreen principles, but the way that slates play out are always different.
Hi, Andy.
Hello.
Hi, Carlos. Yeah, Johnny Basketballs. We got the news there that the Philly guys are in. Love to see it. Sabonis at 4. Do you like Sabonis or do you prefer Sengun?
Oh man, I can see Sengun outscoring him, but I think you got to go Sabonis.
Okay, let's do it.
Maybe
Sabonis has been on a bit of a heater recently, and I've been routinely disrespecting him and taking pick 5 and 6 over him over and over again, and it's burned me a couple times here.
Yeah, I know. You see him against Cleveland, like, oh, there's no way he can cook, and then what does he do? He just chefs up 5 stars against the Cavs. You just never would have expected it, but yeah.
We got a new member here. Welcome to the crew, Andy, long-time Bash Brigade legend. Now joining up, making it official,
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, Brett Boy, you going to spring training? Let's hear about it. We'll talk baseball in a second here.
Ooh.
But I have big Super Bowl FOMO. I was looking at flights this morning. I'm sick.
Were you?
Oh yeah, it's a hop, skip, and a jump to get down to Las Vegas, and used to do it all the time, and that they were so affordable. Like they were like $350 to go tonight. And I was like, I don't know. Nikki's out for the next 2 nights. I was like, all right, just jump down there and see what's up. Bridges,
Miles. Yeah. I feel like this kind of has to be the pick. Got kind of lucky that we weren't staring at Barnes and Tatum. That guy, let his moral compass make that pick with Scotty.
Okay.
Scotty's an angel. He's a perfect angel boy. He would never do anything wrong. He's the face of this league.
He is all over my TV because all the Canadian commercials
TSN,
the Raptors. Oh my God! During the Raptors games and those broadcasts and stuff.
Hold on, I have to stop you.
Scotty
Barnes is like, is he like speaking on these commercials? Is it just like?
Yeah, so they do this whole thing.
I have to look these up.
Okay, so he's the face of Subway, for Canada. Yeah. And they call it bowl way because they're trying to promote that, they're making bowls now or whatever. So there's all these commercials of Scotty Barnes bowling or Scotty Barnes just eating these bowls, like these rice bowls. And he's like, I don't do sandwiches anymore. It's bowl way. It's not Subway, it's bowl way. And it's like Scotty Barnes over and over again. Oh, they're so fucking
face
cringe,
of this
dude.
league. Oh
Face
my
of this league.
God, that is so fucking funny. I need to look some of these up, dude. That is, in America, they're not pushing. It's so funny, man. Canada, you guys got your different ways of life. They're pushing bowls
Not
up
that
there.
differentness.
Well, here's the difference. They're pushing Subway bowls. They're pushing footlong cookies and churros in America. So
okay, maybe the food stuff is a little different. Should we take the cover boy in Jalen there? Should we take the overpriced Ingram, or should we push up Tobias because we think Maxi's out and we like Tobias?
I think I like Tobias.
Okay, let's do it. There might be some merit to like Jaylen Brown too if we don't think Tatum goes. Like, does that push him up a little bit? But I think you can get a little exposure to that game cheaper later with like Drew or with Derek White.
Yep, 100%. Those guys look pretty awesome. A lot could really open up if we get that Tatum out, but it doesn't seem like we are, unless he just wanted to shoot hoops.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and he's in lockstep with us there. Grab him later there.
You almost tagged the wrong comment there. That was close.
Ozempic is all over the TV here too. It's crazy.
It's probably easier to get up there. You can probably get that over the counter.
That I have no idea.
I'm just thinking, Chris Berman was getting those Canadian aspirins. You guys just selling codeine over the counter. You probably got Ozempic over the counter too.
Maybe.
So this is where I'd go Dame.
Okay, so you like the Dame spot. You think Dame can play tonight. You think Dame projects better than the next tier behind. And if not, you think the swap options are good enough that we can get there?
Dame or Zion. So if you like big boy, then take the big boy.
Okay, let's do Dame then. I think I like both. I think Zion has a better chance to play tonight.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, and I think if I wanted to get overweight one player in the fourth round right now, I think I would circle the calendar that it'd be Zion Williamson.
To play?
Like, no, just any player fourth round right now that I would want to be over the field.
Yeah, I'm it's evergreen for me, but
yeah. Interesting. All right, cool.
This is a fun slate, man.
Yeah, it is. This is like just looking through it and then talking through it. I'm now like pretty vested. I'm like, yeah, all right, here we go. Got to make sure I get my 80 or 90 in.
Yeah.
By the way, Ron shamed me earlier for only putting in 90. I mean, like 90, that's a hard day's work.
You know what? Man. You know what I think
Come
is like.
on.
You know, I think he's like blissfully unaware that like 90 is not a lot. I think he was saying that because you're like only 90. Like that's so many. I don't think he quite understands how sick we are. That was my read on it. I mean, Ron, correct. If I'm unfamiliar with your familiarity game, then please correct me. But I think he was joking that you play a lot. Like
I'm not familiar with your familiar game.
You like that?
That was pretty good. Let's hear. Okay, so Brett Boy's going to spring training. He's going from the 8th to the 10th there. Only got tickets to Giants and Pods so far. Okay, let's talk about this in a second there because I know Arizona spring training like the back of my hand, and I think Neumy might be there during that window of time too. Nathaniel, shall we be men of our word and take Derek White now? Get the cheaper exposure to that game.
I see. Like I would go Jalen Green.
You like Jalen more?
Take your favorite color.
Let's take Derek White, who's not actually white.
That's not what I meant. I'm a Jalen
Derek
Green
White
stan.
looks like what your kids are gonna look like. Derek Mocha.
Stop while you're ahead. Everybody's curious. No one knows. Everybody's so nosy. It's gonna be the most viewed post of Bria's lifetime, whenever if she ever puts this child out into the public sphere.
Ooh.
Hey, nothing upcoming. Let's just nothing upcoming.
Was that a Freudian slip?
We need the house first. No, I hope not. Jesus. More than just Freudian.
I love it. Jalen Green isn't actually green.
Dude, I love Jalen Green though. Just on the real.
I think he might be getting better. Okay, he comes back to us. Are we ADP fish here?
Yes, dude. Yes. Jalen Green is gonna cook the Raptors, man. I'm telling you. Jalen Green's gonna cook tonight.
Okay. No love for Thompson or anything like that instead?
I mean, he's cheaper, right? Amen goes pretty early.
Yeah, he goes in the 17th.
And honestly, dude, I think I would like they're so much closer than that in projection. Amen has the the stock ceiling for sure.
Yep.
Like he can really lock him down. But I think did you? Let me ask you.
And
obviously, this is like a setup, but genuine guess, as though I'm not just like throwing this at you. How many 30-point games do you think Jalen Green has in his career?
He's been in the league 2.5 seasons now.
I believe so.
Okay. 2.5 seasons. He has probably played, 60 in his first year, 70, 40. Okay. I will say he has eclipsed 30 points 23 times in his career.
He's done it 30 times.
Holy smokes. That's pretty good.
I was really shocked. I'm not sure how many games he's played. I'm trying to look it up.
We know he can score.
And 193.
193 is more than I thought. I was giving him credit for like 130, 140 in my mind. That's pretty good. 193, scored 30 points 30 times.
Yeah,
that kind of checks out. Ratios.
He's averaging one more rebound a game than he did last season. Steals and blocks are still like meh for him, and he's still not a great 3-point shooter, but he's volume. And against the Raptors, opens up some efficiency is the play.
I wonder if we did on-off splits when Tari Eason and Jabari Smith aren't there, how that positively affects his rebounding.
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean? Yeah.
It'd be interesting splits to look into there. I mean, I could do it, but let's talk a little baseball.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. I'm going to jump out of that one. I like doing the pop-up board like that. And that looks nice with that Underdog Daily behind there.
It does. It does. Look at that. Perfect filler.
Yeah, there we go. I totally goofed up here.
What happened?
I deleted like the whole screen there. Hey, Andy, listen here, buddy. Yeah, I love you too, bro. But we are going to convert you. If we're getting Pete into baseball, we're getting Andy into daily baseball. You're gonna love it, man. I
can't believe these nerds don't like the one sport that like you don't have to watch to be good at. Like you can fully know what you're talking about by like being a box score. Like you kind of have to know what's up in hoops. You got to know what's up in the NFL. Baseball, dude. You like that's like the whole point of baseball in the modern era is like nerds have taken over. Like you can fucking, it's insane. Like just go on Fangraphs and they will not lie to you. Who is good? The projections are so sharp, and the nerds don't want to play it. It's like, all right,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. And I think there's some pretty sharp ways to like auto draft it too. So there's crossover between the hoop streets and baseball that you could definitely go ahead and do stuff like that. Yeah. I'm gonna jump in right now.
Let's go.
2 more spots. Quick little plugs going on here. Obviously, we talk about stacking dingers all the time. Stacking dingers is linked down below if you're looking at our homepage there or whatever our our landing page for Badge Bros on YouTube. If you scroll down, there's a playlist that I just keep adding the new episodes to. Most recent episode there, Nez, you had the man himself, you and Dark Sheep did one with Derek Hardy, King of the Projections. There, I have yet to watch it, so just give the people a little taste of what you learned, what you found insightful. What's up with that?
Yeah, definitely check that out. Shout out Dark Sheep for landing that. He's been trying to get Cardi on a show for quite a while, and finally got him. Had a really fun conversation. It was a little tough. He was a great guest. It was tough for me to think of questions because, like, I'm not like a data scientist, but I have somewhat of a background in like modeling, like and knowing how models work and talking with people who work with models. So like so much, like it was hard. Like it was great. I had to do a lot of work to think like, what can I ask him good questions wise because like so much of the projections, it's like, it is what it is. He's not doing anything like why is like I would ask, you want to ask him like, why is Vladimir Guerrero projecting so well in your model? Because that's what the model said. It's looking at it, it's not looking at players differently because of who they are. It's using the same basis to give you a projection on each player. Maybe ask yourself why you think Vladimir Guerrero should be lower than what it is, and think through that. So that was a really good conversation about Vlad in particular. We can make this pick, and then I want to talk about how he kind of changed my mind on Vlad.
Okay, interesting. Okay, cool. Yeah, we could go with the fun, sexy Otani, or we could go with the accumulator, always at the top of the lineup bets, or you can convince me to scroll.
Scroll outfielder though. Take your boy Julio Jordan. Let's go.
Let's do it. Let's take Jordan. Let's flip
You can scroll, but you have to go outfield in this first 10. Like you just have to.
Yeah. Let's flip the board a little bit here and take Jordan. If Jordan scored more fantasy points this season than Mookie Betts, I would not be shocked. I think you can kind of flip this range around a little bit here and there. Maybe I think there's a couple distinct tiers at the front end. The first tier is Soto, Judge, and Acuna is probably in the tier by himself. So it's Acuna, then it's the two Yankees guys, and then maybe you could be like, okay, it's the two Dodgers guys, and then, the next tier is a big mess. Or you can treat that block of like outfielder 10 through 4 as like, you can do whatever you want here. You could get over the field if you think one's better than that. I think Fernando Tatis and Jordan would be like my two favorite to push up, though I'm not shutting the door on the fact that Julio may have not even hit his ceiling yet, and he's already a monster.
Yeah. Right. That's a very real point. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I kind of look at the block as being like a tier, although I am like doing way more Shohei at the 5 or at the 4. But I do think that they are pretty much a block. I just want to say with the Vlad conversation with Cardi, like I wasn't really thinking about like, yes, he was playing in a different park, but like what he was doing to the baseball, like would have played in other places. And it's like, it's kind of like a no duh, but like not something that I was like really thinking about, because what really took place is it's not like he was doing the same thing to the baseball last season. There was, just a lot more ground balls last season, but we know Vlad has power and we know he's a really good prospect. Yeah. If you think that ground ball rate has some variance to it and that it's not 1-to-1 sticky, like, oh, yep, like whatever happened last year is what somebody ground balls rate's going to be next season, then
I'll give you the absolute 101 case of that. Christian Yelich.
Right. Exactly. Like Christian Yelich, when when variance hit him in the good way, he MVP, like literally MVP award. So
yeah,
I just thought that was really interesting, and like it wasn't something that like shame on me for not kind of getting there independently, but sometimes you just got to talk to people smarter than you, and they'll help you find answers. So I'm definitely taking more Vlad than I was in the past now, especially because his teammates are really easy to stack, and sometimes you can get a premium stack with them too. So trying to get out of my comfort zone with Vlad. But good episode. Definitely check that out if you haven't yet. Cardi was a really good guest. We had fun. It wasn't boring. I promise.
Nice. Good. Yeah. Perfect. No, I wouldn't expect it to be. That's awesome. Okay, comes back around to us. We have the Vlad decision, but then we also have the Trey Turners and Mike Trout and Rosarina and the Tool Shed staring us in the face at the top of the board here. Who's your favorite pick?
I do love Garrett Cole and I love Trey Turner. I would say Cole, Turner, or Vlad personally.
Yeah, let's do the Vlad thing because we just talked about it.
Yeah, might as well while it's topical. Yeah, maybe try to get a stack too without having to force too much. We might have to wait for the next round if you don't want to chase it, but which I think is probably the move.
I was listening yesterday or the day before when I was, I haven't been getting after it in the gym like I used to. Like my body's just like so sore, so I just like do like maintenance and stretching and shit so I can play hockey still and not get hurt kind of thing. But I was listening to Easy did one with Dark Sheep and Billy were on there and just talking about how different they are in terms of like the camps in which they are and how they view starting pitcher. I haven't finished the episode yet, to be fair, but some really good stuff in there too about, basically Easy trying to get people on board with like some of the ace stuff, and then Billy to the effect of like he won't take one in the first 4 rounds or something. So just maybe he even said 6 rounds, something like that. So just different metas associated with the game. Very interesting. Mike Trout comes back to us. Is this a safe place to take him?
I feel like you kind of have to, right?
Right.
Mike Trout in the third is crazy.
Yeah, we were talking about it last show, how it's like if there was an outfielder with the ceiling that could match the first 10, I mean, it's Mike Trout.
100%. 100%. And, maybe Tool Shed of things, and is like he needs more of a greater than 75th percentile outcome to match these guys. Trout does not. Like he needs a lot less to go right for him to be able to match those guys. I feel like you just have to take him when he falls, man. It's Mike Trout. He's got the injuries, but he doesn't need Shohei in the lineup to be a top 10 contributor. What he really needs is a clean bill of health.
Right. Yeah. Well said. Picking right behind us. Love to see it.
Hello. Don't snipe us too much. So one thing I've been thinking about with these drafts lately is, obviously how outfield heavy they are. I hope I'm not like gal-braining this, and I'm trying not to go like overboard. Like I'm not like reaching too strongly. However, I am like way more comfortable taking like good pitchers and like good infielders and like, eating the outfield avalanche in these drafts lately.
Interesting. Okay. Why is that?
For me, it's like the outfielders that are available in the late round at the end of these drafts. Outfield's one of my favorite positions to pick in rounds 18 through 20. So knowing that like I can backfill outfield and in those rounds and take pitchers that I have way more confidence in and infielders that I have way more confidence in, and then like recreate my my outfield 3.
Your outfield in the aggregate.
Goddamn right, baby. It's just the way that like my confidence has lined up. Like I'm just trying to take players, that like who I'm really confident in, and and then kind of figure things out from there. I'm not.
We need George Springer in the 4th, or could we recreate him in the aggregate with Nelson Velasquez and Henry Davis?
Don't forget Matt Wallner. Matt Wallner.
But does he get on base?
Gets on base. Julian, I'm gonna have to check this out. He said Eno was tweeting about the Ellie projections. It's a fun read. I don't think he's gonna get benched or platooned. Okay, I'm so glad Julian said this.
Okay,
because I can't say it because I'm gonna sound like a hater.
Uh-huh.
Ellie this is my hot take. I'm gonna clarify it as a hot take, but I don't think it's that hot. Ellie will be demoted this season at some point.
Ooh, spice. I mean, the longer that Jonathan India stays on the roster, and we saw Matt McLean play good short last year,
They're
their
loaded.
bases covered with Noelvi. I think they'd send Noelvi down before they do. Bo comes back to us, which was kind of the thesis in my mind of putting the Toronto pieces together.
Yeah.
I think
like
Yamamoto's low-key overpriced. I think everybody pushed him up too far.
Yeah, he routinely falls past like 45 now.
I think people got excited with like the sexy new toy, and like he went from a 90 ADP on opening day to like all the way pushed up to 40, and now people are like, oh, okay, maybe they're going to be a 6-man rotation. Oh, maybe Kershaw's coming back. Oh, maybe where are these innings going to come from? Are we sure that this is the front end ace that's going to put up 180 to 200 innings as we thought? And I've kind of been on the train of nope, and I think the market's catching up.
Yeah, they are. He's gonna be awesome. Like, I don't think that he can like kill your team, but there's just ceiling that I'd rather go for. That is not Yamamoto at that range. I'm not gonna have a lot of him like this season, and it stinks because he's probably gonna be super awesome to watch, but just doesn't seem really worthy.
Yep, I like it. I like where your head's at there. Let's make this pick, and then I gotta fill up my cup here. I'm a little thirsty.
I can vamp for you. I'm gonna have to tag me out once you get back. I'm fresh out, and yeah.
Thank you for passing on, Bo, man.
Oh, I didn't know that UD has season long.
Yeah, they got season long MLB stuff there. That's a lot. That's a lot of strikeouts.
Wow,
a lot of strikeouts.
I'll have to see how projections compare.
All right, Yamamoto comes back to us at 52. Do we bite the bullet, or do we like someone else? I know you like Nimmo in a vacuum. I like Santander.
Do you like Goldschmidt?
Yeah, I mean, how can you not?
Take Goldschmidt, man.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think my mindset in like the 5th, 6th round defaults to outfield because of perceived scarcity, but now you're kind of selling me the pen on the other thing. Like, hey, we got 2 outfielders in our first 3 picks. Like, you like some guys that we can backfill it with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I think the Cardinals are a little underrated right now, especially in drafts.
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit last show where it's kind of like the Gorman pick late feels really nice right now. Nobody takes Donovan, and Donovan's probably going to be leading off. Tommy Edmonds just consistent year after year. He's going to give you 100 points.
No, everybody's waiting on his downfall.
Yeah, he's not sexy. He's going to give you 15 home runs and 20 bags, but that plays in this format. Okay, give me 1 second.
All right. Chip, what if Ellie is good? Ellie could be really, really good. Ellie could be really good. He could be here's the comp for Ellie, dude. Ellie could be Kyle Schwarber with 45 stolen bases. That's a pretty fucking good range of outcomes. But there's a chance that he doesn't make contact with the ball enough to, get there home run wise. And it could be a bit of a problem, especially when they are loaded with talented infielders. Who knows how well those infielders will play this season, because they played really good last season. But that infield, man, could be a problem where it's like, hey, we got bodies. Ellie isn't getting it done. His glove is a problem. He's striking out too much. We got to send him back down. I'm telling you, man, the range of outcomes are much lower than people think. I will also be right back.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they have big aspirations this year too. I'll just go. Yeah, they have big aspirations this year to contend. That's the biggest thing with that team, and it's probably why they haven't traded Jonathan India yet. I'm gonna pull up roster. Oh, we're up in 4 picks here. I was pulling up roster resource real quick because, man, Spencer Steer's a good baseball player, and you're gonna have to make some decisions between Christian Encarnacion Strand, Spencer Steer, Noelvi Marte. Maybe Noelvi becomes odd man out, but we talked last year when Ellie came up that Noelvi may low key be the better prospect of the two, and we saw it firsthand last year that Ellie just put on an absolute show and Noelvi struggled. And I think that's still living in people's head, and probably rightfully so. We could stack Jordan Walker here. I think we got to start thinking about some pitching, though. Maybe we stack Jordan Walker and then take a pitcher on the way back. But I do think Webb is like a pretty big tier break. And having him as like a 6th round ace feels much better than like Scooball or something. All right, I talked myself into Webb. But I think Jordan Walker was pretty fine there too to stack with. But I like to come away with 2 pitchers, I think, here. This lineup instantly feels a little unique with the fact that we got Yordan paired with Trout, because like the only way, and Vlad, like that feels like a really like, 1% start, because you would have to do it from the other side of the board usually, like Yordan at like 8, and then you would have to take Trout and then hope for a fall of either of those two. Vincent loves Jordan Walker. Hard not to like Jordan Walker, man. We saw a ton of that. Yeah, I like this shout, Chipsy. I want all the Noel V.
I've been talking, and I don't think anything picked up because I was on mute.
Yeah.
No. I like the Logan Webb pick. I agree that what we did is likely rare. Walker would have been a nice stack, but Webb is cool.
We could do Arenado as a stack here, or we could take a pitcher, or you could tell me that this is an outfield cliff.
Arenado or Grayson?
Let's do Arenado. We did Grayson last time out. Let's do. I mean, sometimes Arenado falls. I've noticed that. I mean, his ADP is, someone pointed it out, whether it was in the Discord or in the chat during the stream. Someone pointed out that like Nolan Arenado's ADP is like 40 spots different than it was in the first bullpen.
Really?
Yeah, like he was pushed like way up. Like I think he was in like the 50s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, this is great for us to get this discount then. I mean, I hate taking Cardinals just as a Pirates fan, but I totally acknowledge that this is the time to do it whenever, coming off this season they just had.
Ooh. Braden saying that in his first draft got Yamamoto at 91. That's nice.
Yeah, I think that's where he like opened up there, and then the field just like thrusted him up to the 40s.
Asking what your highest exposed player is. Admittedly, I mean, like this is only probably like my 10th draft or something like that. So my exposure numbers are not great yet. I will start ramping up as spring training ramps up, and I'm going to do a couple more this weekend. That's my goal each day. I think we're 48 days or something like that from opening day.
Wow.
Nez, and my goal is to make sure I got to get at least 50 dingers in and max the perfect game. Those are the benchmarks right now.
Yeah, gotta max that perfect game, man. That's the small field stuff is where it's at. I'm gonna pull up my exposures here in a minute and let you know. I'll say off the rip, I know that Grayson Rodriguez is my highest drafted player.
There you go.
Ooh, he's been usurped by 1 share. Josh Naylor. Okay. Sorry.
I wanted to guess. Come on, you're better than that.
Yes. Try to. I mean, throw some other names, and I'll tell you where I'm at on them.
Okay, Isak Paredes, you're going to be up there.
Yeah, he's not my highest, but he is up there. It's tough because he goes so close to Naylor that I have to choose between my 2 sons.
Oh, that is tough.
Yeah.
I feel like for whatever reason that I'm the resident Jake Berger guy on the show, but I feel like you like drafting Jake Berger this year.
I'm getting there. I have him in some slows. I have him in some slows. He's fun. He's fun. Big, beefy infielder that goes late, that has 30 home run upside. That's fun.
Your highest owned outfielder right now?
Ooh, yeah, this is a good one.
And Henry Davis?
He's tied. It's a 4-way tie. Okay. And you could probably guess my top
Henry
5.
Davis, Jack Sawinski, Matt Wallner.
I don't do Jack Sawinski.
Matt Wallner.
Yep.
Brandon Nimmo.
Nope.
And some other boring fuck.
Evan Carter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you are a Carter guy. You were a Carter guy from day one. I'll give you that.
Henry Davis.
Yep.
Sal Frelick.
Oh, yeah, you were a Frelick guy too.
Matt Wallner.
Yeah.
And then that's a 4-way tie, and then Kerry Bonds is right after those.
No, I mean that's so on brand. So if anything, you are honest, my friend.
Yes, absolutely. But Grayson, I have 48% Grayson. And
that's quite the stand. I mean,
I'm not trying to curb it either.
Yeah, it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, you were high on Grayson in general last year, but the thesis for Grayson is so much stronger this year, and his price tag hasn't adjusted. I mean, it definitely has adjusted a lot, but it hasn't adjusted to the full magnitude of his potential, right? That's
especially the way that we saw him pitch late last season. Like, it's not even so much like imagining it. Okay, I know you're not going to be with me on this, but it's Cole Reagans for me.
Okay, because I like Rodon and see if Reagans comes back.
We can do Rodon.
You like Reagans more than Rodon?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Cole Reagans and healthy, man. Oh, buddy.
I mean, he was so nasty to end the end of the year last year. It's just like I got this like small peanut-sized brain that says that like the Royals probably not going to be in contention, not going to win that many games, protect their assets, know that he's the front arm ace of the future for that staff. Like, can we get him to go 180 with 220 Ks? Like, I look at Carlos Rodon and I go, this team's going to win a lot of games. They're going to, there's no clamps on him. There's no injury follow-up. We saw him to go the end of last year. And they're just going to extend him every start out because it's quality starts and wins over and over again for the Yankees because they're all in.
I mean, that's definitely a smart angle.
All right, here you go, Nez. He comes back. So you like Cole Reagans over Bobby Miller as well then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm about it, man.
Because, like, this is my favorite range. Like, Reagans, Brad, like, I don't take Bradish because he's in between Reagans, Keller, and Musgrove. And I love this range for pitcher. Okay. But I've been taking Reagans over Mitch Keller just because I love Mitch, man. But he did it last year, and I've got 35%, so I'm not light. But what I've seen from Reagans is just absolutely dominant stuff from a lefty. And he's really, like, I watched this interview he did with Nick Pollock of Pitcher List, and hearing him talk about his journey. And I know other pitchers are like not like dumbasses, so like it's just nice to be able to hear him talk about his like repertoire and the way that he uses his pitches. Like, he just fucking gets it, man. Like, he's just he's really in tune with like what works well, how to use his arsenal. I'm a sucker for guys that can like pump high 90s like and paint the top of the zone, and then also like get you with the slider, which was like his idea. To add a slider to his repertoire. He didn't want a sweeper. He wanted a hard slider. And then to righties, he has a cutter that goes right in on their hands. And it's just like, he's just filth nasty, but
that's old school. That's old school crossbody thrower. Yeah. Where you go back foot slider and you go harden in cutters on righties. Mm-hmm. That's old school Randy Johnson.
And he's got to change
bury it. The bottom fall out to the left side of the plate.
Yeah, so like he can. Yeah, he's got righties under control. Like
that was God, that is nasty.
So when he was traded, he played at Omaha. After he got traded, and he gave up 6 hits, and they were all to righties. And so he was like, something's got to change. So he talked to the pitching coaches and like and throughout the idea of like how to like change his repertoire, and the results are what we saw in the majors. Like, it just it was phenomenal stuff, man. Yeah, so trying to be a year early on Reagans, and I mean, like, so many of my rotations look like Grayson, Reagans. Like, it's just
Keller.
It's so much of the same. Yeah.
All right, I like it.
And he's a tread guy, which, like, not to on tread, but I mean they've got good results.
Okay, I like it.
There goes Mitchie. The thing with Mitch that I'm worried about is like he was really hot and cold, and like when he was bad, dude, Mitch was bad. So I'm scared about that, and it's not and he's not free anymore. So
yeah, that's fair. But we got to do just a little. Okay, let's make this pick first.
okay.
Newt Bar stacks. Yeah, it seems easy. We could do Morel and then one of the Cubs infielders on the way back if someone doesn't double tap.
I think Newt Bar.
Okay. You like Newt Bar more than Christopher Morel?
Maybe Morel slightly, but because we have the St. Louis stack going, makes me want to do St. Louis.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, the thing about Newt Bar is like, man, what has changed between this year and last year when he was everybody's sexy darling last year? Like he had a solid year, he just wasn't healthy.
Yeah, exactly.
And now all the playing time potential, like, oh, he could get jumped by so and so, or he could get platooned with Ton. That all those concerns are gone. Like I would argue that Newt Bar is in a better spot this year than he was last year.
Fully agree. Yeah. So it's like nice that we're, it's your quintessential post hype guy, right? Post hype sleeper.
Damn straight it is. Damn straight it is.
Oh, the Reds just avoided arbitration with Jonathan India. Interesting.
Okay, so actually, that's good that you reminded me of that conversation we were having because I can't keep up with all.
I know, especially when we're drafting and on the clock again.
Yeah, because I want to go back to this Reds. Oh, and I'm on roster resource going back to the Reds here.
Okay, I think this Jung-Hoo Lee discount is massive. I think you just take it.
I saw him hitting in the cage on like an Instagram video or something like that for the first time yesterday.
Yeah. What do you look like? Slappy or no?
No, not slappy. I think it's like a lazy comp to say he looked like Yoshida, but that's that classic Asian swing approach, right?
Right. There are
Japanese versus Korean. Yeah, there's similarities, right? Mm-hmm. Japanese versus Korean, but like, yeah, I don't think he's gonna be able to hit for power in San Francisco in the big leagues.
Yeah, but that's also like not like what he's like trying to do.
Right. I just think it's what plays the best on our platform. And that's why I've been the guy who's no Nimmo, no Stephen Kwan, I've been that guy for like so long in these contests. And
yeah,
maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you want these accumulators who can get on base, hit at the top of the order, probably won't. I don't know. It also scares me that the Giants platoon so effing much.
Right. It's definitely a worry. Hopefully Jung-Ho isn't one that they platoon with. Also, I don't know if they have like quite the deep bench that they used to do like the heavy platooning like they want to.
That's a good point. Yeah.
But no, I mean, it's obviously a worry, right? You can't like feel too comfortable taking a Giant spat. But with the discount, we just have like another, just add it to the rarity score.
Yeah. Okay. Am I tripping balls when the Mariners' old first baseman, big beefy guy, number 11, was also named Jung-Ho Lee?
You're not. I think if you go on Fangraphs, there is like a 41-year-old Jung-Ho Lee.
Yeah, like they were both named the same, and that's what's throwing me off, right? Like identical name, identical spelling.
Yeah, and I only see him as they only show KBO stats though for that Jung-Ho Lee. But there is a 41.
Oh, it was Dae-Ho Lee. Dae-Ho Lee.
Oh yeah. Dae-Ho Lee was awesome.
Lee. Yeah, that guy was fun.
Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he was.
Yeah, also like, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I wasn't saying anything there.
You bring in Jung-Ho Lee, you give him it was 5 years, 100 mil, or like 6 years, 100 and something. It was something like that. You don't bring that guy in to platoon him and then ship out the best platoon partner you could possibly have with him in Haniger. Right? Like that. Yeah. Maybe the platoon shit is just like a dumb thought. Nez, a bunch of your boys on the board right now in Vinny P and Ruiz. Do you like either of those, or you want to do something else?
Ruiz or Javier or Barrios?
Javier Barrios. Let's do Javier then.
Okay.
I think we could use a fourth pitcher right now more than we could use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Infield, we're pretty stacked at infield.
Yeah, he feels like a good veteran, literally stacked infield thus far.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, Javier feels like a good, little bounce back bet too. Like pitched well down the stretch last year. I mean, he was what, a 4 or 5 turn pick last year.
Yeah,
People's
he's
second pitcher.
really pricey and killed a lot of my teams.
Him and Alek Manoah killed more teams than anyone could ever care to admit.
Yeah, absolute just league killers. Oh man,
both your guys come back here, or we could pay homage to our boy Chip and take Shota.
So I think I'm I love Vinny P, but it just doesn't seem like a great fit. I'd say Shota or Ruiz.
Ruiz, we can do some backstacking with like Galford and like that sort of stuff. Shota.
Oh.
I was thinking I want to pay some respects to our guy Chip Check, the heat check legend in there, and then we got the Dog Bowl champ who slides in here and goes always Shota, and I go, yo, Dog Bowl champ, the king. Yep.
It warms my heart to see the crossover, like when Couric is in here drafting baseball, and like Matt Killabees is in here drafting baseball, and these guys are like in it and love it. Like that crossover just like makes me happy.
Love it. Oh, Nez, we got a new member here. But in honor of the hashtag model, in honor of the hashtag puck guys, this is you, buddy. Let's see what Nez has got in store for this one.
We're about to lose a member as soon as we got one.
Here we go. Come on, I believe in you.
Mosia Tanya.
I like it. Mosia Tunya.
Welcome.
Mosia Tanya. I like it.
Welcome to
you fucking nailed it.
The memberships.
Love it, man. Part of the Badge Brigade. Love to see it. Thank you. Appreciate your support. Gonna have some member-only streams.
Spent.
Many are saying.
Unless it was a Subway footlong in the 2000s.
He joined. Yeah, see? We took Shota. He joined. That's a great point. Great point by Chip.
Do you eat Subway?
I try not to. I mean, now that we live like outside of downtown, when I'm coming home late night from puck or something, and I literally just like need something and know I don't have something at home, it's one of the only things that's a 24-hour that's kind of around. And to me, it's the lesser of two.
Subway's pretty clutch.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's to me, it's a lesser of two evils with McDo's versus that. So yeah, I kind of maybe I'll just curb the food thingy and get a 6-inch on the way home or whatever. So I try not to though. Yeah, why?
I haven't sought out or thought about like having Subway in I can't even tell you how long, but that's because in Kansas City and in Dallas, where I've been for the last like 8 years of my life, food options have been plentiful, and I haven't needed to like resort to Subway. But back in DuBois, Pennsylvania, like Subway is kind of like, one of the only shows in town. There's not a lot to really pick from. But I did have Subway the other day because I'm a sucker for coupons, and I got a coupon in my mailbox to get a $6 footlong. So I love that. And I went back and wasn't missing much.
I think you guys are drafting so effing fast. Let the boys have a conversation.
Damn, we lost Naylor. He wouldn't really be a fit, really.
I scroll down for Isak here. I think maybe pitching like Brandon Pfaadt fits this rotation nicely. Like take a high upside arm.
Yeah, let's do Pfaadt. I think he's going to throw a lot of innings if Lord willing, he stays healthy. He's going to have to.
I mean, like if that team is looking to be in contention again, which like last year they were clearly a year or two ahead of schedule, right, to make it to the World Series.
Yeah,
incredible like run or whatever. That organization. Okay, maybe this is too much high praise, but that organization feels to me low-key like when the Rays made the World Series 2 years early. And like the Rays, you know, they were, you know, quote unquote underfunded. They were built from within, this sort of thing. And then they were making like shrewd moves. And the Rays weren't really the Rays then, you know? Nobody gave the Rays any credit the first go around that they were ahead of schedule and made the World Series against I can't remember who they made the World Series against now. The David Price year.
Oh,
or did they lose in the AL championship game that year? We'll look it up in a second. It doesn't matter.
It wasn't the Royals, obviously.
It's not relevant to the comparison necessarily.
Well,
it's just the fact that
I don't know that the Diamondbacks are there yet. I don't know.
Right,
I don't know that I trust the org to be like that good, or did they just get lucky?
That's my point. Is like that's exactly how we thought of the Rays in that window, and then the Rays turned out to be super sharp late.
Yeah.
And I think there's a chance that Arizona might do that.
I mean, we'll see if Lawler is the real deal. What do you want to do, Paredes or?
Yeah, let's play the hits. Let's play the hits, man. We were talking about something else. Let's just draft the good player.
Yeah,
full side power.
Bueller's falling like a rock.
They wouldn't have played Detroit in the finals because both in the AL, but it could have been the year that Detroit won. Played the Dodgers in 20. I'm thinking further back, Dogman.
Oh, this is going to bother me because I know who it is. Bueller went undrafted in a turn me up's draft. Wow.
John will eat Subway when he has 50% Pollard. That would be fucking every day.
Dude, where?
So busto after NFL that I have to live off Subway now. What are you guys talking about? Sheets with a Z in the chat here.
Dude,
the only Sheets I know.
Don't make me take you down Sheets lore, man. So Sheets was founded in Altoona, Pennsylvania, which is about an hour away from my hometown. Okay. And Sheets pioneered eating food at a gas station. It's not fast food. It's good food fast. And they pioneered, John. You know how in America people used to spout this BS like, hey, like, you know, if you want, minimum wage to go up, like you're going to get kiosks at McDonald's or whatever, some bullshit. Well, Sheets pioneered kiosk ordering. You were ordering food at a kiosk at Sheets when I was shitting in diapers. Okay.
Really? They're OG.
Pioneered. Yes. Wawa came after, and if you, depending on who you are, maybe Wawa's better than Sheets. I've had Wawa. It's pretty good, but I gotta stand my ground for Sheets. And it's a big PA trashy war of like Sheets versus Wawa. I refuse to engage in that because I think that they're both beautiful establishments that we should uplift both, because it's just hilarious that we go to gas stations, fill up our gas, go inside, get some snus or whatever you're into, and get a hoagie at Wawa or Sheets.
Oh my God, this sounds awful.
Oh, dude, it's the best. 24/7.
We could go super stack and add on Gorman. We could take one more pitcher and then completely shut it down. And
Kepler for Neumy? Kepler did better than I thought last season, and he's 31. He's getting some grown man strength. Kind of the prime. People forget.
Okay, fine. I mean, he just seems like boring and not enough ceiling for me, but I do understand that if he hits in the middle of that order now with Polanco gone, that could be a very viable thing, and he's probably considerably safer than Wallner, just because he gets on base. Wallner hits the ball hard.
Yeah,
he gets on base.
Play. I was just really surprised by how many games Kepler played last season and how well he did in those games. He played 130 games.
Yeah.
Plate appearances, though, didn't hit 500, 491, but 124 WRC plus, slugged 484.
124 WRC plus?
124. It was his season. It was his career best.
That's pretty good, man. I mean, that's a tough park to hit for, like both because of the weather and the dimensions. Like that's a tough park to hit for power, but he does get on base.
Yeah, so I mean, at this range, it is tough to find ceiling, and certainly Kepler doesn't exemplify ceiling, but he's played in
Right.
over 100 games in 3 straight seasons. So I'll give him that. I thought he was way less durable in my mind.
We got a little Mitchell taking Leone Tavares there.
Ooh, I haven't gone
Nice.
to the Leote well yet, just because I think that there's
Yeah.
just so many bodies there. But if he's starting in a daily, then I'm taking him. I'll tell you that much.
I kind of want to take Lodolo and make this a 7-pitcher build and shut it down.
So
But
I like
you could
it.
convince me to take 6 and we take Gorman and stack it up for the super stack.
Lodolo. I think Lodolo is one of the most mispriced pitchers in our contest, but health concerns are extremely real. But man, if Lodolo gives you 150 innings, oh my god, he's gonna crush.
Here you go. If Lodolo gives you 150 innings and Cole Reagan gives you 150 innings, who scores more points?
Probably Lodolo. Actually, Reagan's. I'm gonna say
really fucking. The fact that you got to
park.
think about it is like it's really close.
It is. It is really close.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, or maybe not obviously, but I think Reagan's is more likely to give you that 150, and that's probably why he's priced where he is, and he has the better home park. But if Lodolo stays healthy, gives you 150, then you're cooking with gas. And what I like about Lodolo in a 7-pitcher build is you can like eat, some IL stints or, some low innings totals at the beginning, because the staff is set up to kind of take that on. And we have Carlos Rodon, who also has his fair share of injury concerns. And we have Javier, who is a little bit, hot and cold. So you kind of cover yourself in a lot of areas with the warts that do exist with this staff. But dude, this pitching staff is a lot of upside. And, maybe pitching upside is like not that important. I have fun drafting good pitchers. That's what I like to do. So
like this is a really nice staff in my opinion, because like you get like these anchor veteran aces that also like I think are low-key underpriced. Maybe Logan Way is like perfectly appropriately priced, but like they're kind of like the workhorse like front end of the staff guys, and they're not going to be limited. They're both on teams that should be doing well. Obviously Yankees more so than Giants, but like that. And then we've put together like 5 ceiling arms that even if they miss time, they're all high strikeout rate guys that can score points even if they get dotted. Because I think one thing that goes underrepresented in our contest is like, guys can still score good points for you on a weekly basis, even if they get shelled, if they strike a lot of fucking dudes out. So like you don't have to build through like just boring floor quality start guys late too.
Exactly. That was a big philosophical change that I had been making this season, where like last season I loved, like Tyler Andersons and Kyle Gibsons and shit like that. And like, in certain builds they can work, but like, these guys can get shelled and over the course of a season, like it'll flatten out. Plus the spikes are that much higher when they do spike. So it just kind of makes sense to go for the ceiling, in my opinion, at pitcher, especially when we have ourselves covered. If these guys don't have good outings, certainly, one of these guys will have an outing that can be more useful. So just makes sense to me.
Love it. Should we think about some stacks here? Should we think about some cheeky scrolls? What are you thinking for a build? We got 755 right now. We got 3 picks left.
Yeah, I think this is 767.
767. Okay.
I like Wallner here.
Playing the hits, eh? We're gonna go mini.
But and I also like Benintendi, because I think Benintendi's gonna lead off.
I like Wallner more than Benintendi.
Me too.
Benintendi just.
I know, dude. It's Benintendi.
Benintendi. Like, enough said. Like
absolutely nothing there. I don't even know how to like comp Benintendi in like football. Like what is he in football? Like little like short A-dot receiver. Like he's kind of like, I was gonna say Thielen, but Thielen just popped off last season, so
Yeah,
you can't even call him Adam Thielen. But he
he's
is what we thought Adam Thielen would be.
late career Jarvis Landry. You
That's
know,
perfect.
it's like he's gonna have like 3 usable weeks, but they're not gonna be spike weeks that break the slate. They're gonna be like 15 pointers or something like that.
Yeah.
No,
Turn me off
went.
saying
I
that he's
thought we could
Rondale
wait.
Moore. He's not Rondale, but it's close. But he's not Rondale. I don't know who I would
Rondale
call.
Moore. That's pretty. Yeah, that's not bad.
I'm gonna call Ruiz Rondale Moore. A story.
Man, I really wanted that. I was thinking about Noelvi in my mind, and man, we got to do some scrolling.
Yeah, dude, nothing wrong with scrolling. I think Brandon Lau is pretty interesting.
Estrada stack with
yeah,
Oli.
yeah, I like Estrada. And I do like Henry Davis, but I'm not going to force you to do that.
We did that last time.
Yeah, I mean, who cares? It just you could take whoever. I don't care about the order necessarily here, but I do think a 7th outfielder definitely makes the most sense.
Yeah, especially Vlad Bo, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Paredes, and Estrada. Like that's a lot of quote unquote durable players who have played a lot of innings with good solid mean projections.
Yeah,
we kind of want to shoot the moon on an outfielder here.
Yeah,
because
and it's nice that you have Estrada with Lee because you get that stack is nice. You want to have an out to a stack for sure. Stacking is really important, regardless of what the final results will show, of who won the dinger. Having stacks is really important to maximizing your ceiling. And maybe you get those 2 at cores a lot during the season as well. That's very nice.
Yeah, actually, I haven't done a deep dive on the schedule thing. Actually, just a heads up to everyone. I know we talked about stacking dingers before, and like we want to do like a lot of crossover, and like I want to do a positional preview on our show, and then maybe we'll do it all in one go because we're so focused on like the daily, like day-to-day slate ones. But they're going to do a series next week, and I'll hopefully join for at least one of the 3, and Nez as well. We're going to do like a dedicated position by position series there. So that could be a lot of fun.
It will be. Yeah, we still need to do. I should do it just for my own damn sake. Drafting all these dingers, I should be more aware of the playoff schedule. But I also don't want to like psych myself out of players I like just because of a playoff schedule either. But it's really that stuff is really important to know.
I like it.
All right, man. What are we gonna do with this last pick? I mean, I know I said I like these outfielders left, but geez Louise.
Man, they just don't think Luis Matos is gonna play this year.
I don't know. I'm not drafting him, but what's his story? I mean,
like decent prospect, and then came up last year and like not a huge power guy, but like an average and steals 22. Guy. And play center field.
Yeah, he has a good hit tool. Not a lot of like power, but doesn't really matter in San Francisco. He hit really well in the minors.
Damn straight he did.
Didn't strike out a lot last season.
I might not be the most dialed guy around here, but I got a couple nuggets here and there.
Well, let me look at the roster resource because he is a righty. But he's 22.
Man, I remember just playing Austin Slater every fucking day in the dailies every time he led off.
I love it.
Like it's just an absolute lefty killer.
Yeah, I don't. I mean, what does roster resource know? But they don't have him on the opening day roster.
Yeah. So who do they have starting in center field?
Jung-Ho Lee.
Okay.
With Conforto. Is Conforto still on the board? And then Yastrzemski.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Conforto is on the board.
All right, let's say Conforto.
Dude, I love that. Yeah. Perfectly cromulent 20th round pick.
I mean, he was going before he signed last year. He was going like way up.
We've been chasing the Conforto ceiling, and he played 125 games last season after missing the year before, and it was an up and down ceiling, admittedly, but love that. I mean, that's a sick little stack.
Yeah, 3-person stack now. I think we ended up with quite a few stacked pieces. Maybe a little too many than optimal. We kind of fell into a little bit of a trap, but it feels good.
Yeah, probably not ideal to stack as many as we did, but we had goddamn fun doing it.
Yeah, we did. But then, like, the interesting thing is, I think anyone who starts with, okay, so this build is super unique to me in 2 respects.
Okay.
We flipped the board with Jordan, and we got unique combinatorial ownership in the first 3 pieces IMO. Okay. So I think that's number 1 that's unique about it. Number 2 thing that's unique about it is when people build stacks and they stack heavily in this contest, they situate those stacks around the like top players in which they drafted. We have no other Astro, which, good or bad, neither here nor there. It just means we have contrarian stacks with good players elsewhere. Because like people will force the issue to be like, okay, now it's time to stack. Let's stack with like my best hitter. Well, it's like, well, we stacked a 3 and a 4 hitter just on a different team. So, we're not Astros fans in the playoff week. We're Jordan fans and Cardinals fans, opposed to being Astros fans, right?
Yeah, I think I could justify it either way, but I really do like the idea of maximizing those non-premium picks, which I mean they are, we did take them at early spots in the draft, but maximizing those picks to be like, hey, like, yeah, we got them late, but guess what? They're actually going to be super important because like they're going to elevate each other when they do hit, and it's going to like, it's going to really, just really maximize that potential for them. I can sell myself on that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that little spin zone there.
Oh yeah.
Dude, I really like this team we just built.
Me too.
It just shows you the depth of the player pool like late here. Like I really like Estrado plus Conforto, and like those guys don't get drafted at 100% frequency late.
Not even close.
So, yeah, as part of our like positional previews and part of our like just like thinking through the game tree and stuff like that, we'll definitely do like some of our favorite late stacks as well. Like just the way it adds up. Wow, look at this. Our neighbor Julian there, like just boom, finished with all the infield ones. That's
sick. He said he did a 6.86.
Love it. 6.86.
Yeah, a lot of ways to attack this. Somebody asked, I forgot to
6.86 is my favorite build pattern right now.
Ooh.
Yeah. Is that a hot take?
I think having an 8 at anything is definitely a hot take. Okay. I'd say like 6s and 7s are typically.
I've been doing a lot of 6.86 this year for whatever reason there. Dion's a little bit behind in the chat here, so he'll catch up. But Kepler's breakout less surprising than usual because he was awful versus the shift. That's a good little nugget there.
Yeah.
That I mean, we talked a little bit about it last year with banning the shift and blah blah blah. But like that's a good nugget.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, this is interesting. Padres and Bo Sox in trade discussions. Jaron Duran mentioned there.
Whoa.
I mean, you want to look for your Trent Grisham replacement in center field?
Uh-huh. Exactly.
Yep. That feels good. Oh, man.
And Jason Tatum is going to play today.
I mean, like that makes me like less bullish, obviously, on the Przinsky like stuff that I liked, but yeah, I mean, there's gonna be a lot of good second and third round Jason Tatum teams now, but that game could play.
Hopefully not third.
Yeah, I mean, well, only be third if it lined up with the 1-0-1 where he went like 13.
That has to be the hard stop.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, Nez, let's shut her down here. Go out, enjoy our weekends, get some more drafts in the hoop streets, and then call it a day. We'll be back on Monday, and no definitive plan for what we'll do Monday. I haven't looked at the schedule and stuff. I imagine things are pretty heavy hoops wise until the All-Star break, which is the following weekend.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. And
Maybe
then
we're celebrating some pick'em dubs that we had from off and on the clock.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're going to do. We'll be back on Monday to celebrate those. For the valued audio listeners, maybe I'll hold on. Maybe I can think about a smarter way of doing this. I'll go back to the team right here. All right. Our valued audio listeners and Nez's definitive ranking for our team in the Dinger, a 7-6-7 build with Logan Webb, Carlos Rodon, Cole Reagans, Christian Javier, Shota. How do you say his last name? Imanaga?
Imanaga?
Imanaga? Yeah,
that's how I say
right. Imanaga? Yeah. Brandon Fott, Nick Lodolo. Fuck, I love that staff. I actually love that. Pause.
Dude, so
pause.
good.
Pause. Pause. I love that pitching staff. Apologies. All right. Then we went with Cardi's boy, Vlad and Bo stack, Goldschmidt and Arenado stack, Isaac Paredes and Tyro Estrada. Man, that feels solid at the infield. And then Yordan Alvarez, Mike Trout, Lars Nootbaar, Jung Ho Lee, Max Kepler, Matt Wallner, Michael Conforto. Nez, I think I can say this is my favorite streamed Dinger team we've built thus far.
Ooh, I think we're cooking, man. I think we're cooking. I'm gonna give this an 8.9 out of 10. 8.9.
That's a scorcher. That is a 2.5x spice in my mind. Love to see it. Fuck yeah, that's a nice team. Wow, that felt good. That team felt good.
Nothing feels better than just drafting good pitchers. Like, just draft good pitchers. It's easy. It's simple.
Yeah.
Just draft the good ones.
Any parting words, Nez?
Best of luck to everybody. If you have remaining playoff best ball teams, best of luck to you. Hopefully you win the Chop Olympics.
Couldn't be us.
Nope. I was playing for first. I was trying to play unduped for first. That's why I did this on purpose. If you haven't checked out the pick'ems that we did on Off and On the Clock, definitely check those out. And best of luck to everybody in the hoop streets.
Love it. Yeah, best of luck to everyone. Enjoy your weekends. Enjoy your drafting. We'll be back on Monday. And if you're looking for more baseball content this evening, our friend Dark Sheep dropping the heart right here. He will be doing a stream from the Sheep seats this evening. I thought I knew who his guest was, but now that I'm like thinking about it, I don't remember who his guest was. But he'll be streaming another Dinger draft. So if you want to get in there with him.
Highly recommend.
Cool. Do us a favor, hit that like, that subscribe, that notification on your way out the door. And if you're not at Underdog Fantasy, what are you doing with your time in your life? I have no idea how you made it this far if you are not signed up. But if you are not signed up, use promo code MLB at sign up. Greatly helps us and supports the show and Nez and myself ability to get gas station food from
That's right.
All right. On behalf of Nez and myself, we're the Badge Bros, and this is everybody's favorite time of the show, the end. Peace.